What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Run with Jay channel. So today we're going to be reviewing the Adidas Adios Pro 3. So like clockwork, Adidas has released the third generation of the shoe, which promises to be a beast. So we're going to take a look at this shoe, review it, take it out for a spin to see if this shoe has made any improvements over last year's version. So if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the bell for the notifications. And big thanks to all my returning subscribers for all your contributions and support. So let's get this review started. So initial impressions, I really like the new colorway of the shoe. It's fast, green, looks like it means business. And I'm usually a big fan of Adidas colorways because they're really bright and colorful, which I like. Profile and silhouette of the shoe looks very similar to last year, so we're going to look at the specs. So price-wise, this shoe has jumped about $30 to $250 from $220 from last year. The release date is the same of June 2022, similar to last year's June 2021. The weight of the shoe hasn't really changed too much. It might have gotten lighter just by a tad. So the Adios Pro 2 weighed at about 7.8 ounces for an 8.5, and the Adios Pro 3 weighed about 7.7. So just very slight weight changes, but they've made some enhancements onto the shoe. The offset is a little bit different. So for last year's Pro 2, it was a 10mm drop at about 29.5 in the forefoot and 39.5 in the heel. This year's they have a 6.5mm offset with a 33mm in the forefoot and 39.5 in the heel. So it's almost at 40, which is maximum height for the heel for restrictions for regulations. So fit wise for this shoe, it pretty much runs true to size at 8.5 for me. I did notice in this year's version feels like it is a little bit longer. I did have a little bit more space as opposed to last year in the shoe, so I think I could have gone down maybe half a size and it would have fit just about right. But I'm not a person that likes to get blisters or have my toes banging on the top of the shoe, so I always go a little bit safer and having extra toe room. So feels true to size. You do have to kind of fix the laces a little bit to lock your foot down because it does come a little bit loose from the factory. So this shoe, similar to last year, is made up of this textile mesh upper, which in this year's version feels a little bit rough and coarse. If you're wearing socks, it might not be a problem, but definitely, it feels rough to the touch, and I can see people having comfort issues with the shoe. Tongue is, pretty plain. There's no padding or anything on it. It's not stitched onto the side of the upper, but there are couple of loops in the front that ties the shoe in, so the tongue doesn't go anywhere. But other than that, this tongue is pretty standard. There's not really anything special about it. In the back, you have the Achilles padding area, very similar to last year's version. The touch of this feels a little bit rough as well. I don't know if Adidas could make something a bit more softer, but if you even rub it, you can hear how coarse and rough this padding texture is in the back. Also now this year they have this little flat thing in the back, which I'm not sure is exactly what it does, but doesn't really change the effect of my runs. It could also be used as kind of a reflector in the back when you have it flipped up, but I guess it's it's used to, depending on your taste of how you want to ride, with the shoe rubbing against your back of your ankles or your Achilles to not prevent any blisters and things like that. So you can have it up or down, I guess, depending on your preference. In the midsole here, you have this 2-layer of Light Strike Pro foam that they have used in all of the Adios Pros. It's a great foam. Nothing really has changed. It does feel a little bit softer this year, in my opinion. So instead, there's 2 layers in the foam this year, and there's also this little cutout in the forefoot area, which I guess is used to save weight, and you can kind of see the exposed energy rods a tad, a little bit. But other than that, the curve of the top of the forefoot is a little bit different as well. It's more pointy as opposed to a flatter of last year. There was still ample toe room for my feet to move around in. People with wider feet might have a problem getting into the shoe, but for me, I guess I have a normal size foot, and this wasn't an issue. Once you get the laces and everything adjusted, the lockdown was okay. It wasn't anything special. I did feel in the back of the shoe I had some extra room, so I definitely probably could have used the half size down to get it more form fitting. On the bottom of the outsole, you have your standard Continental rubber on top, which I believe this year has a little bit more as opposed to last year. Same really thin rubber strips on the bottom, on the two sides of the heel area as well. With Adidas shoes, I've never had any issues with grip, and similar to the Takumi Sen 8, which is their shorter distance racing shoe, I love that shoe. I never had any issues with grip on that shoe. And with Adidas rubber, I think it's great, one of the best rubbers on the market. And I don't think you'll have to worry about slipping or wet conditions. These rubbers are made to last, and I feel like they are a little bit thicker this year, so they should last you a lot longer, since people did complain about durability issues with the shoe. The laces on top are your standard Adidas laces, so nothing special there. So another big change this year is in the energy rods in the middle of the shoe. So most racing shoes use a carbon fiber plate, but Adidas chose to use carbon fiber rods. And in last year's version, all the rods were working individually on your toes, but this year they made it so it's harmonized, so they're all working as one unit, which should provide better energy return and faster turnover and make the shoe go faster, basically. So taking the shoe out on mixed paces, I did notice that even running on slower speeds, the shoe was able to handle it a lot better as opposed to other, very aggressive racing shoes like the Alpha Flight Next Percent. So I was able to kind of cruise in this shoe at slower paces, but once I dial the paces up, you can definitely feel the difference. Right away when you put your foot in, you can feel this huge amount of foam under the shoe, and it's very comfortable and very supportive. The foam has great bounce. I really like it this year. They did add more foam, I feel like, in the forefoot area as well, so you can immediately notice the difference. So basically, you're going to be running on a huge amount of foam, and for people that love that, this would be great. I really think this shoe is marketed now definitely towards higher end distances like the full marathon or half marathon. Anything lower than that, I definitely recommend the Takumi Sen 8 for those distances. But you can definitely tell they beefed the shoe up with a ton of foam made for long distance running. You can definitely feel the rocker motion in the shoe, and the turnover was very good while running in this. So the Adios Pro 2 was an amazing shoe. A lot of people really enjoyed that shoe. And honestly, I wouldn't really change much about it. And Adidas claimed that it's won over 60% of the world marathon majors, which says something. The breathability of the shoe wasn't an issue as well while running. The textile mesh upper is very breathable, although it was a bit rough. I did wear thick socks, so I didn't feel any of the rubbing or any of the discomfort sensation that people were talking about. So one thing I did notice while running is it kind of had to change my gait a little bit because of this little cutout on the top of the shoe here. Usually, it feels like something is missing. It's kind of hard to describe while running, but when I land on my toes, I feel like there's an empty space there where it should have been something. So my gait had to adjust a little bit, but it wasn't, a deal breaker. Still a very quick and fast shoe. And this shoe is definitely very stable as opposed to some of the other running shoes that I've tried on, even the Alpha Flight Next Percent 2. On turns, I felt very secure, didn't have to slow down or anything, similar to the Takumi Sen 8, which I think was probably the most stable shoe and fast shoe that I've tried on. So no worries there. This shoe will definitely, support you on turns and curves. So that is one good thing that I like about the shoe, along with this massive stack of foam, which you can definitely feel under your feet while running. So Adidas has made some minor tweaks and changes to this shoe, and I think it is for the better overall. But honestly, I would probably be okay with still sticking with the Adios Pro 2. They both weigh about the same. They pretty much do the same thing. There's probably a little bit more foam on this, and the new carbon fiber rods does not add a nice addition to the shoe, but I don't think it's a huge upgrade as people were hoping it to be. So now that the Adios Pro 2 is discounted because of the release of the 3, I think that people who really enjoyed the 2 would probably be better off picking up a fresh pair of the 2s as opposed of paying $250 for the 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, this new shoe is good. It's fast. The Energy Rods 2.0 are interesting, and you know, it's with the extra amount of foam, it definitely is a great shoe to have, and it'll be great for your marathon racing. But I just don't think the changes are groundbreaking enough that I would, you know, pay the new $250 price tag for the shoe. But if money isn't an issue and you want the latest and greatest for running shoes, this Adidas Pro 3 will be just fine for you, and it'll be great for your marathon races, and I'm sure you'll set PBs and records running in this shoe. I hope Adidas might change the textile mesh upper a little bit to make it a less rough and coarse for runners that might not like the rubbing on their feet. But other than that, this is a fine shoe. It's got some really nice upgrades. I really like the outsole changes, and I think this shoe will last you a very long time, and it'll be great for your marathon races. I personally don't think it'll be good for, you know, shorter or runs or, you know, anything maybe like 5K or related. This shoe I think is strictly meant for long distance racing. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this shoe? Is this something that you're going to wear for your future marathon races, or is there another shoe that you have in mind? Or if you guys have any other questions, feedback, comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you guys are all staying safe and your training is going well, and I'll talk to you guys on the next run.